Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Factorio. How'd you like that new intro? Anyway, we're going to get into it here, creating some more science cards, hopefully. Actually, this video we don't manage to finish the science cards, but the logistics. But we do have our red, the basic, or the automation, and the brown basic tech cards fully automated at this point. So we're going to take those out here and balance them, and then run them across into another building over here for labs in a minute. But first, I don't know if we do it first or not, but either way, here in a minute we're going to automate underground belts as well as splitters because we use them a lot, and there's no point not automating them. So here we go. Let's grab another factory building. We're going to place it right here. That one will be used for labs. We're just going to run the two types of tech cards into this building for now. Of course, eventually we will get bigger buildings and we can readjust things, but we're just looking at our map, making sure there's no biters expanded into our base area. Bring those tech cards in and go grab the labs. We actually have mainly burner labs, which we are now going to completely remove from our setup here and switch to only electric labs. So I originally spaced them out, set them up just in a line, and then I'm going to run a belt next to it. And then I look at it, I'm like, you know what, let's do it in a different way. So I decided to set it up in a pyramid shape. Small spot at the top, big spot at the bottom. Also, something you might be noticing is there's no game audio. I forgot to turn the game audio on until a little bit later on into the video here, but I do turn it on in a minute. So, yeah, professional. Never claimed to be. Also, I apologize if you hear anything in the background. My son's in the room; he's asleep, so we've got his sound machine going for him. But yeah, if you hear that, my apologies. It's just like a rushing wind sound of some kind. But anyway, gonna feed everything into this first lab. We actually have too many tech packs or tech cards and such to really do very well. So we're actually we can actually feed them all in that first lab and do it in a pyramid style, and it'll work very well. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I chose pyramid style instead of doing it differently, like in a straight line, because there'd be an extra bit of belt weaving that we didn't need. And here you go, turning on the game sound, we can finally hear it coming on through. But yeah, here we are. One thing I was going to say, I will probably here in the next little bit, once we get a little bit better defenses, not immediately, but once we get some better defenses, I'm going to start using the time speed upgrade or mod just to make it go faster, because it really is kind of slow and boring for me as I'm playing. Not right now, because we've always got something to do, but once we get to the point where we've got better defenses to keep the biters at bay, I'll probably start using the time speed mod to speed up some of our walks around the base, as well as just waiting on crafting and whatnot. So just pay attention to that here in the future. But right now, it's going to stay the same as it always has. No time speed mod. I did use it once last video just to speed up my walk over to the Zircon section, and I'm not going to do that anymore. We're for now going to move this radar over because it's gotten its space already done, and we're going to just put it over here on this far side of the base to hopefully find out what's on this edge. Just let it run here for a little while we're doing some other stuff. Readjust here real quick, get in a more comfortable spot, and give me some water. Hydration is important. All right, so now we are going to automate underground belts as well as splitters, and we're just going to split off the ingredients we need from here in the transport belt and nanobot cartridge, capsule, whatever they are, building, and just put it into a new assembler for the pieces we need. So we need iron beams um, for the underground belts, which are pretty simple. You just toss some iron plates into a assembly machine, and it makes iron beams. And then in order to make and we also need transport belts. Then in order to make splitters, you need transport belts, iron gear wheels, and engines, which, hey, look at that. We're making both of those things in this building already. Actually, all three of those things right there in this building. So we're actually going to split off of those to make the transport belt, to make the splitters. Split off the engines and the gears there from the engines and manufacturing and the transport belt manufacturing to make the splitters. So for now, that's what we're going to do. We may or may not change that in the future, probably not, but you know, possibly. We're just going to feed the iron beam straight into the assembly machine for this these underground belts. Run this belt down here for the inserters here, and kind of limit each of these chests so that we're not just continuously using all of these resources for things that we don't really necessarily need yet. But anyway, we're just going to limit that to 2 stacks. Splitters, I think I limited to 3 or 4 stacks. I can't remember. But yeah, here we go. Now figuring out how are we going to split off the this pieces for the splitters, and I decided just to put filter splitters at the end of the line there on each of them, so that way we can just split it off and we don't have to worry about trying to run them across the place here from the other side, or fit in a splitter in on the way to the other side, you know. So we're also going to move this over one because we really kind of needed to. My inventory is full, so I actually put some transport belts back because I couldn't even pick up the assembly machines to relocate that. But now we're going to feed those into an underground belt underneath this other piece. Get rid of that just so that it doesn't catch the, fill up the belt with just random crap, and place these belts back in. Now we're going to take and put another assembly machine on the end of this here to allow for splitter production. Run it into another small chest here. Run a belt down, and then run this belt over with another inserter to add the transport belts into the line. And we are under attack at the moment, so we're going to go check up on our coal plant up here that's being attacked, our coal mine, and hopefully help defend it. They seem to be mainly focusing on this area from the top up here, and every so often going at the bottom right corner of our base, and sometimes spawning a new expansion over on the left side of our base. We just have to watch it. That's why I did turn on these expansion chunks, because it'll help us narrow down where are these guys going to show up next. There is that expansion limit of 7 chunks, so if you look at the map, why the areas that do not have any kind of circle, I don't know if anybody, if y'all know how the Factorio, the chunk indicators, how those work, which is the first time I'm using them, but I've actually looked into them before because I've seen them on other people's playthroughs, because I also watch Factorio in my free time. But anyway, the green circles, the brighter green it is, the more likely, or the more, not the more likely, but basically those chunks are more desirable for the expansion to happen in. The darker red it is, or the more red it is. Sorry, my son's crying here. My wife's got him, but anyway, the more red that the chunk is, the less likely,
or the less desirable that that chunk is for the expansion to happen into. So yeah, so basically, if there is not, see, we just saw a base expand in the bottom left corner down there, because the chunks expanded outwards. But if there is not a uh, a circle on the map, that means that a biter's expansion cannot happen in that chunk because it's too far away from another biter base or from another enemy base. So we've got all this area on the map here that we can use with no fear of biters expanding there, although they could expand eventually. It might take some time, and also the they can still attack us through that area. So we just need to watch out for that too. This was a great find here. It's a huge solar panel field with accumulators and another radar in it. So we're now going to pick those up, grab them for ourselves here. The solar panels, the accumulators, and the radar, as well as these medium power poles. So I'm grabbing all of those things, putting them in the inventory, and the inventory is still pretty well full, so you know that's how it goes. But just picking up the last little bit there, and we're just continuing to explore in this area. There are these furnaces here, and something I've noticed on the map here is that these little dead bases, whatever they're called, are actually keeping biters from expanding to these areas. So deleting these bases helps with that. And I do leave those conveyor belts because we can't use them. But I really should have picked them up because that'll allow more expansion into this area to keep them from expanding further towards my base. But anyway, um, so it's actually only some of those bases, like these two are, but some of them don't. Some of them will allow the biters to expand. For instance, the ones that have like turrets and things in them. And there we go. Our first bit of offshore oil. That's great. That means we can come here, harvest oil out of that, and then we will have oil at the base to be used. Unfortunately, there's only that one bit of it in this whole lake here, but fortunately, as we continue to explore, we do find some more that's a little better suited for us, because over here we have to deal with all the biters. This is another good find, more solar panels, and we actually find two substations here, as well as some more fast inserters, another Covarex centrifuge. It's not just Covarex, but anyway, another centrifuge and some more belts. But those substations are cool. We're actually getting attacked by just random biters here out in the middle of nowhere, so that's definitely something to note. It's just little scouting parties from these bases that have noticed me and are coming to attack me. We're now going to drive over here. We found another lab as well as 50 green logistics cards, and you're going to see I'm going to throw away some stuff into this chest, mainly like just ingredients for things that we don't really need that we can always just make later, and grab those logistics tech cards as well as these furnaces as well, because we will eventually expand. I don't know if we're going to switch to electric furnaces at any point, but we will switch to steel furnaces at some point. We just don't have steel processing yet, so we're still stuck with stone furnaces. But we're continuing. This time we're just walking around, continuing to explore and figure out, okay, what's good up here, what's bad, what can we find, what can we use. I didn't really want that offshore pump, and our trash slots are almost full, so we need to go ahead and fix those soon anyway. Okay. But anyway, yeah, just continuing to explore, looking around, seeing what we can find. Mainly looking for lead. We did find a big patch right there, but it's right next to some bases that I really would rather not deal with. So anyway, but yeah, this is one other thing here. I don't think it's this lake, but another lake we find some more oil processing, some more oil spots. Here's some more drills we found, some more belts. But anyway, just continuing to look around, decided to get in the car and drive around these biter nests here, these spitter nests, whatever they are. You know, enemy bases, as you could call them. That's what the Factorio devs call them. So that's what I'm calling them too. Anyway, just driving around, trying to get out of the way of those things, looking for more stuff. As we just search through this area, there's a huge patch of graphite right there, which I'm not sure that we need very much of that. I don't think we do because of my other few worlds that I've played on, but it may be useful for some stuff. It's definitely needed for some stuff, but not necessarily entirely useful. Huge patch of Tiberium that's continuing to expand right there. And up here, we find some more stuff. There's tons of area up here where the biters will not expand because it's too far away. Um, I thought for a second that that was a car, but it wasn't. It's just a burner mining drill. And right here in this little lake here, there is some more oil patches. I think there were two of them. Yep, two of them right next to each other in this little lake. So that's great because this is in an area that's far away from biter expansion. So we know that it's not far away. They could expand there quickly if they decided to, but it's not likely yet. So we know that we can get there with trains at some point or vehicles, you know, whichever comes first. I think the vehicles come first and get to those things. So once we've automated our logistics tech cards, we will then be able to get to that area because we can research the vehicles and then we can set up the vehicles to go and grab the oil, bring it back, and we can use it for our own personal gain. So if y'all will give me 2 seconds just while I'm going through what we need for these tech cards, I've got to pop in the kitchen and pull some stuff out the oven. Give me just 2 seconds. Sorry about that, guys. I believe I just had left to go pull some bacon out of the oven. I made some candied bacon, but actually it's been a lot longer than just a few minutes because we had some power issues and it deleted a good half of my voiceover. So anyway, I'm back here. We're just going through this hell mod panel, looking through things, putting the ores in for logistics tech cards. But yeah, so I last recorded on this video, it was probably about 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock. It's now 7:30 p.m. So yeah, it's 12:30 a.m. or 12:30 p.m. 1 p.m. It's now 7:30 p.m. for me. So it's been 5-6 hours. But anyway, I can still continue to comment exactly like I did before. Yeah, so we're just really setting up Hellmod to try and put in for logistics tech cards because we need to have those automated. That's our next step in our process here towards getting to vehicles, which will allow us to get oil, which will allow us to continue on to our next step. So we're going to set these drilling rigs down. We've actually got to move this coal up. I didn't realize I was that far back. Wow. Yeah, so my inventory's full, so I'm having to clean stuff out. But yeah, anyway, moving the coal out the way so we can put the other drilling rig down there. We're just going to need 2 of them. We only need 1 technically according to Hellmod, but I like to put a little bit extra just to make sure we have enough. But yeah, so have we already placed the factory building? I don't think we've placed. No, we haven't. Okay, well, we're a lot farther back than I thought we were in the video here. Because yeah, okay. So we're just moving this up. We're gonna put these drilling rigs down to pull the natural gas again out of these other two instead of the original two to make formaldehyde. That formaldehyde will then be turned into, I think it goes, does it go straight into bakelite? I think it does. The plastic there, the basic plastics. Just cleaning up the power lines a little bit. But yeah, go straight into bakelite. Then we've also got to, so we're going to place those chemical plants down now. We'll put 2 of them down. But yeah. Then we've also are going to place a factory building down right next to our lab factory building to create the logistics tech cards. So yeah, so that's the next step. And it's great that we can skip basic chemical plants and go straight into the advanced ones that we found in the field there, or in the world. But before we do that, we need to create some glass for more greenhouses because we need wood to make phenol. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put this smelter down. We're going to smelt some glass. We need more sand, so we're going to toss some stone in here to make sand. Then we're going to smelt the sand and tin and alumina into glass for greenhouses. Still dealing with our inventory, just full of crap. And you know, I didn't notice this at the time, but if you look up on the map, you can see that there has been a base, a biter base that's expanded into our territory right there. You can see it in the corner, the bottom left corner of the map, but I didn't notice it. So instead, I'm just going to place these solar panels down and whatnot. And I think I go and attack that biter base, unless I've already done that. But either way, there's a biter base down there. I know I attacked one in that spot during this video. Like I said, it's been 5-6 hours, but I don't think we've done that yet in this video so far. So we're gonna finish building these accumulators here, and then that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna place all these accumulators down, and we'll have a bunch. We really could get rid of that starter power supply thing right up there, but I just didn't feel like it. I mean, a little bit of extra power is not gonna hurt anybody. So, you know, there's no harm in leaving it. It's only going to create free power for us. And, you know, who's going to say no to free power in Factorio? Definitely not me, right? But just placing down the rest of these accumulators, it becomes nighttime before we get finished. So really, there's no way to use them quite yet. But it'll drain the rest of those accumulators out of the power that they have, and then we'll have the burner generators making all of our power here, as well as the wind turbines, of course. You know, anyway, just connecting the power lines back up to make sure everything has power, and continuing on. I'm like, okay, can I place a substation down anywhere? And there's no real spot to put it, so I'm just going to keep it for now. Grab the glass we made, toss some more sand in to make a little bit more. Oh, well, actually we didn't make any glass. I tossed the sand in just then. But yeah, I just looked at the map and I still didn't notice that biter base yet. I don't really notice until we walk down there and, you know, go to it. See, now I notice it. I think we actually have. So that seems like to me we actually have destroyed a base there in this video and then come back and done it again. No, maybe not. Maybe so. No, I think we've destroyed it once and it came back, if I'm not mistaken. But if not, then hey, this is the first time you're seeing it, and I just had to come and destroy it. No, this is the only time I destroyed it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little confused. It's been a long day. You have to forgive me. I should have rewatched the first 17 minutes and come back a little better. But there's been a lot going on. So yeah, we go down here, destroy this biter base, this 2 spitter spawners, and the 4 worms, and all the biters and spitters that come along with that. And then there's nothing else that's spawned at this point. So we can go back to our base and just repair the walls that were damaged and get back to work. So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, here we go. We're going to grab this glass, and we're going to make the greenhouses we need. And we're actually out of iron plates here, so I'm going to run over here, pick some up off the belt to refill my supply here. Make the other 2 greenhouses we need. Build, just hop in a little workbench to speed it up. Then I'm going to get some stone to build the water well that we need here. And then place down another factory building here next to the other ones to allow for us to have the space for it. So I leave 1 space up at top, not really meaning to, but it actually works out very well for our future endeavors here. Place the water well down, get the wood out of there onto a belt, and we now need to make phenol, which requires wood and coal and fuel, and it will give us phenol and coke. So we're going to take the coal. We're just going to take some off right here next to the glass furnace there, run it down. I really should have gotten rid of that crusher, but I left it where it's at for the moment and just kind of dealt with it. But I really should have just gotten rid of it. And I placed it here, and then I realized, oh wait, I can't actually access it there on the inside because of the greenhouses. I'm like, oh yeah, that was kind of dumb. So let me put it around the top. I really should have just removed the crusher. But anyway, we'll fix that later. Pull it in right there, which is perfect because it has to combine with the wood on the belt. Then go into furnaces. So now I just need to find a source of fuel. I'm like, where can I get the fuel from? I could bring it from down here, but I don't really feel like it. First, I grabbed some splitters and underground belts because we need some more. But anyway, walked back up, and I'm like, okay, fuel. Okay, I'll grab it off right here. Let's rearrange this iron belt. So yeah, so I'm going to pull this iron belt up here just with the nanobots, get rid of it here. That way it makes it a little bit easier on us, so we can then put an underground belt and use a splitter off of the fuel line there to get down to the building. We're still mainly at that stage of starter base here. Belt spaghetti everywhere. We will eventually, and you can see the workbench got picked up on our belt there, but anyway, we will eventually step into building a main bus base and such, but it's just going to be a little while because this mod pack has very, very slow progression, and until we get like full-size robots, it's just not feasible for us. We could do it manually like I've been doing the rest of the base, but it would just take so much extra time on top of what we've done. So anyway, it'll be a minute before we get to that point. But right now, we're going to keep going the way we've been doing with belt spaghetti and buildings. And the buildings are a great help because they kind of really reduce the amount of stuff that we have in the base. The floor space or ground space or whatever square footage you want to call it that we take up. We're going to go ahead and pull this coke off into a box for now. We could use it as fuel, but we're just going to put it in a box at the moment. Now we're done with those, and all we have to do is smelt the phenol. But anyway, there's another wave approaching, and I don't really have much time left in this video. I was only trying to record for an hour for this video because I didn't want it to be very long like the last one. But anyway, we're just going to come over here and destroy these couple of fighters here. And I think fight off the rest of this wave for another couple minutes and then be done. But I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Sorry for the confusion here at the last few parts of it, the last 13 minutes here. But like I said, had some power issues. My PC shut off in the middle of recording my voiceover, and I lost all except until that spot where we paused there. But yeah, I really hope you all have enjoyed this. we're going to continue to build some more on this world. I'm actually going to do a little bit more here after the finish of this voiceover recording. And for now, that's going to be it. So this is me signing off. I'm going to leave you with me walking back up to the wall here and into the factory building. And yeah, I've been producing videos. Thanks for watching.